Hello, hello! Welcome back to the stream. I just checked off my last to-do box for the day because this is one of the last things I need to do for the day. I'm hopefully going to have an early night, but knowing me, that's probably not going to happen. That's how it always goes. I am in a relatively chipper mood despite the fact that I felt like I was going through a wood chipper about 2.5 hours ago. Crazy, isn't it? Honestly, I think I just needed a popsicle stick. I'm not even joking, by the way. I really did need a popsicle. I got roasted. By nothing. Nothing at all. Anyway, how's everybody doing? I'm Yellowfang42 if you're not familiar, or if you're just popping in. Or if you're just watching the VOD and are like, is this actually Yellowfang? Yes, yes it is. It is pretty much every single time. I don't think there's ever going to be a time when it's not me. Anyhow... Please tell- oh good, the marquee is working. Marquee, my beloved. Of course, on the previous stream, it decided to break after the refresh, and for anyone who was watching the VOD of the previous stream, you might be like, hey, wait a minute, that's 3 minutes further. 3 minutes further along. Well, I saw that it got to 154, and I immediately, I had to save. I had to save it at that spot. It was too fascinating. Too fascinating for me. I am quite happy that we are finally at level 49 and making progress towards level 50. Because, as of now, if I remember and have done my math correctly, we only have 50 levels remaining. Of course, as we progress, each level will take longer and longer to get to, which means it'll take more and more time to get to the next level. But hey, it's part of the journey, and I am very excited to make significant progress on the journey. Will I make complete significant progress? We'll see. We will see. It depends on how the day goes. But so far, so good. I'm taking a little bit of extra damage. For anyone's unfamiliar, I take enough damage to be at half health or less, so then I can get double the XP through the power of experience boost. Unfortunately, the only other time I can get it is with the Gullwing Keyblade, and by the time we get the Gullwing Keyblade, it's not gonna matter. I'll be at level 99 by then. Because that is the goal. The goal is to get to level 99 before we even fight Twilight Thorn. And as per usual, I will explain, yes, part of it is humor, and the other part is revenge for past me, like... Oh god, how many years ago now? Gotta be at least 5. Maybe 6. I don't know. It's been such a long time, it really has. I was doing a little bit of a... What is it? Would I call it an acting exercise? I was basically doing a little bit of acting exercise prior to the stream, and also in between that, I was enjoying some ice cream, as per usual. Cookie dough. I love it. It's my favorite. One of my favorites, actually. Depends on the ice cream brand, because some brands are terrible at mint chocolate chip. Mint chocolate chip is also a favorite, but it really, really depends on the brand, because some brands, they make it taste like toothpaste, and others, they have the right minty feeling without it tasting like toothpaste. It's a very delicate balance, honestly. It really is. It's kind of impressive. Oh my goodness, as per usual. Oh my... I didn't even make it 10 minutes before yawning. In fairness, though, I woke up kind of early. Not too early, but early enough. And it was all in good things, all in good things. I did a little bit of tidying, not as much as I'd like, but I did just a teensy bit, just a tiny bit. The chipper voice will probably fade away in about 20 to 30 minutes. We'll see. Oh, in the meantime, you get to enjoy me sounding way more chipper than usual and way more... perky? Yeah, more perky than usual, but that's fine, that's fine. It's all part of the fun. Also, I'm having a lot of fun talking like this. Oh man, we started off with about 29,000 remaining XP, and it looks like I chugged through about 3,000. I'll have to review the previous VOD to really be sure, but I'm pretty sure I saw 29. So I was trucking through it by when we got to the next level, which made sense. I only made about 2,700, so yeah, that's approximately 4,000 or 5,000 XP at least. I'd have to do some rough mathematics to pull it off, though. Goodness gracious me. I'll have to do a little extra math and look at that, which I kind of don't feel like doing. But that's a-okay, because the point is we're going to get from 26,000 hopefully down to 22,000 at least today. That's the main goal, is about 22,000 remaining. I ran into a wall because I looked away. The power of looking away, honestly, in this game. It's magical. It very much is magical. I'm also super stoked for the future. Now, there is something I should talk about. Thursdays. As may be noted by some of the stream patterns, I seem to have a difficulty in the past month or so with streaming on Thursdays. I don't know exactly what it is, and I'm gonna try to get back in the habit of it. I would like to not break the habit, because if you are familiar with making schedules and if you let one thing slide, then the other things just kind of slowly start falling apart. Basically, Thursdays are the load-bearing stream days. They are load-bearing. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to choose to either A, try to suffer through fighting Xemnas and probably get another video out of him, or B, I'm going to turn that back into my leveling up days until it starts driving me crazy again. Because there was a short period of time where the level grind was driving me crazy. It felt very repetitive. C is just proceeding with the Aqua Command Roulette playthrough, or Command Spin, whichever it is. I don't know, Command Roulette just seems to flow more, it sounds fancier, but Command Spin is probably the proper way to say it, plus it doesn't make the algorithm make it sound like it's a gambling thing, because it's not. It's really not. It's literally just my scroller, the controller, having a fit. Except that didn't very much happen with Ventus's story. Part of me is like, what if you just do a redo of it? And then the other part of me is like, girl, you have already done it. You should not do a redo of it. Maybe I should do a redo of it. Just like punch it all out in one day. See what happens. I don't know. It took me 2 hours to get through the first section. But I was also watching the cutscenes, which makes a huge difference. So, who knows? Maybe, perhaps, if I'm not too tired by the time things are done, which I doubt I'll be too tired. I say as I yawn, of course. Maybe I'll poke at that video, and I think I need to chop it down. I think that's my problem. I think I just need to chop it down. Bite the bullet, chop it down majorly. Maybe I'll do a boss fight compilation. And that's it. Maybe a little bit preceding that. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. It's 5 VODs to work through, and it's full VODs, by the way. So it's extra spicy. And I have to work with the fact that I don't have any spinning. So that's another issue. Speaking of issues, I keep getting 4s. Oh. So there's that. Hopefully, I can persuade myself to get the damn thing done. Probably over the weekend. I think that will be the best course of action. And then hopefully, once I get it done, then we will proceed on to Aqua. And hopefully kick in this command spin with her this time. And then after that, I will, during the times that we're doing all of that, I will evaluate my current game library and whatever is currently installed. And maybe on Thursdays, if I don't continue doing the level grinding thing, or maybe just every once in a while between the level grinds, like keep the Thursdays the flexible days. As in flexible of content. I'm just hashing this out on stream because it's one of the times where I'm like focused, I'm not gonna be distracted by anything. It's a great way to focus on everything. Trust me, you can get a lot of thinking done with doing this level grind. Even if you're not doing it just for like the shenanigans of it all, I highly recommend this. Is it possibly insanity inducing? It very much could be. You have to stop focusing on the numbers after a while and stop doing mathematics to try to calculate how much you can do within a couple hours. Your answer is between 4,000 and 5,000 XP for 2 hours. There you go. There's your answer. Anyway. But after a while, you can just talk yourself through a lot of stuff. You can talk out, like, interesting perspectives. Or like me, rant about the fact that I seem to have a serious beef. I do have a serious beef with rich executives who don't know what the hell they're doing other than just more. Disgusting. I say on a website owned by people who would say exactly that. I will take advantage of the ability to use this platform to say what I want to say. I will. Waha. Ah, what a beautiful day. I made the cutest little bouquet. Although it kind of looks a little lopsided right now. I don't know if I did a particularly good job. But I tried to make a lovely little bouquet because I had to trim some rose bushes back again. So I'm like, well, if I'm going to trim some rose bushes back, I might as well make it look pretty. So I did. I like it. I did remember, VOD watchers, to put a band-aid on the small, tiny abrasion that I got just yesterday, in case you were wondering about that. You don't have to worry, though. You have no obligation to worry about me. Where are you? There we are. Excellent. Yeah. But yeah, so the injury is protected and hopefully will heal graciously. I might eat an extra apple just to give it a little boost, because vitamin C is a major point in the healing process of any and all injuries, and it also is part of the process of keeping your scars in place. Because if you have a vitamin C deficiency, that would be scurvy, and all of your old wounds start reopening. It's very horrifying. It seems like an old-timey disease, but it can get you if you don't have any vitamin C. Wow, I am whiffing like crazy. Dude, embarrassing me. Or I'm embarrassing myself, actually. Oh my gosh. Whew. Goodness gracious me. Forgive me for being a little bit quiet for a bit. I did happen to enjoy a couple of Star Trek episodes, of course. There are only 4 more left in the season for the first season, so it's going to be exciting. It's so interesting because I know very well that most of the cast is going to be fine, but I'm still tense the entire time. I love the fact that despite the fact that I do have foreknowledge that things are going to be fine, they will still make it, they will still be there, I'm still like, ooh boy, I don't know if they're going to make it or not, even though, like, it's I love that. It's very well done. I'm very, very happy about it. And I am very excited that if I am enjoying Season 1 this much, I am very excited because a lot of people say that Season 3 is where where the next generation really gets its footing. I am very excited to see how I enjoy the third season. But I'm going to get through the second season first after completing the first one because I am a sucker for watching things in order. Which is really funny because I did almost try to watch the episodes in the production order according to the listing on there. Because I see the 1 and the 22 and the 23 and they're all over the place. But I'm like, I'm just going to trust the order listing here because production order doesn't necessarily mean chronological order. Sorry about that. Apparently my speech is having a slight hiccup. Just a teensy-weensy hiccup. No biggie though. 1 second. At least today I remembered to eat my food before the stream. It was delicious. I made potatoes. And then I proceeded to eat 99% or a large percentage of them, and I'm like, well, shoot, I should have made more. I did share though, so that's a huge part of that, but yeah, I pretty much ate most of them. I was hungry. I was very hungry. Very hungry caterpillar. How lovely. Ouch. I don't think this is divisible by 8 whatsoever, or by 4. In fact, I am very sure of it. Maybe. I'll have to figure out a pattern. Because right now I'm sensing the pattern is it's not divisible by 4 or 8 at any given point. Maybe. Who knows? Plus, whenever we're at 5-digit numbers, I am one to just back off of trying to calculate, just because I know very well that, I mean, I could get in practice. There's nothing wrong with getting in practice. That's why I do the math equations. It's not just because it's a fun way for me to tell how much XP I need to go through, how many streams it's gonna be. It's also a great way for me to exercise my brain by doing impromptu math problems. Especially good if I can do them on the fly, like while I'm fighting. Good lord, I have got the Yawn Fest. I had the Yawn Fest this morning, so this is not unfamiliar to me. Oh my goodness. Sorry for the creaking and punching and I'm in the wall. Okay. 1 second, I need to rub my eyes. They are getting in my way. My eyes are actively irritating me. I didn't even do anything. What the heck, eyeballs? Why are you like this? Why are you bullying me? It's rude. Oh my. What a chaotic journey. Bam. Oh no. Oh no. I feel the sugar crash. That is a nasty sugar crash to you, or it's just me being like, hey, can I go to bed now? And the answer is, No, I cannot. I've got things to do, and one of them is level grind. But damn if I am not cozy. Well, maybe I shouldn't be cozy. Maybe I should be slightly uncomfortable. Leg. There we go. Free at least one leg from the confines of the blanket. That way it'll be cold. And then the cold will awaken my brain. I probably could and should use both hands, but my brain is like, hey, let's just do this one-handed and see how it goes. So that's what I'm doing right now. Plus it worked out anyway. There are so many reasons why I'm very glad that I decided to just practice playing the game with one hand, because then I can rest my hand behind my head while I lean back on my seat. Good lord. Okay, we're accepting 4s today. Anyway, I can lean back while on my seat and then still be able to play the game properly. I am not appreciating the watering eyes, though. That part I am not appreciating. I wish it would stop. Ow. Wee. Oh boy. Goodness sakes. Ouch. That was a crack and a half on the back, but that was necessary. Very necessary indeed. It was a little stiff there. Sometimes you gotta realign your spine. And not with the chiropractor. Were those stars? Yes. That's fascinating. I love the little details. I've said this before, but I love the little details that they put into the battle stuff. It's very subtle, but it still enhances the combat experience. Because, like, for example, with the sparks, whenever Roxas does that, the reversal move, it makes a huge difference. It adds, like, a sensation of very fast movement other than just him going zip. And then the hits showing that they hit, and then the picking up things with the sparkles. Like, just little subtle indicators that add to the experience. I love that. I also love and appreciate that there's like a little triangle thing to be like assigned to press the reaction command. I love that. It's very blatant when you try to play on other platforms, since, like, other than PlayStation. Like, when I first saw people doing the gameplay on the Xbox, I was like, oh, that's interesting, because it's the Y button that takes place to the triangle. And so you still see the green little triangle. You still see the green triangle shape. But I think there's like a Y button indicator there, so it's a little bit jarring. But it's very interesting that is the case. Sorry about all the creaking. I have my headset likes to pretend it is the mast on a sailing ship. It will creak forever. It's funny though. Funny to me anyway. Perfect. Thank you for the damage. Still got an 8 out of that. I'll have to get more. Ba-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da. Ba-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da. Oh, goodness gracious me. Perhaps a sip of water will do. I got to go on a lovely evening walk the other day. It was very nice. There was a moment where it was a slight hiccup and not very fun, but the moment was not too severe, so it was fine. All worked out in the end. Man, this water tastes really good. Holy crap. I am quite the enjoyer of clean, delicious water. Drinkable water. I love it. I like when water's drinkable. I wish everyone had drinkable water. I wish that certain folks weren't trying to use those stupid AI data centers and stealing all the damn drinkable water for them. Get that shit out of here. It sucks. In my opinion, anyway. Actually, no. Objectively, it sucks, because it affects everyone. It screws us all over. That makes me wonder. I hope that outage isn't part of that. Hopefully not. I've never been a fan of that generative AI stuff. It makes me sound old when I say it in that particular way, but I'm not very fond of it. I don't like it in the slightest, actually. Especially since it was when it was first coming around, the folks who were regularly using it were jerks. Basically, the fandom sucks. Which, if I could go off by the internet standards, if the fandom sucks, then according to internet rules, so does the thing that they're fans of. So if the fandom sucks, it sucks. I know that's not actually true, but in this particular case, I do believe it to be very true. It's just their attitudes were so snarky. It was like, ha, we won one over on you. Now we can be just as good. It was like, it felt like a stem of jealousy, and then it just was like, now we are better than you because we can spit out this AI art and stuff with the generations, which is straight up stolen from the collection and scraping of everyone's artwork on the internet ever that still survives. So frankly, it disgusts me. I don't like it. I like the creative process. I especially like the creative process when it involves shitty looking art. Because I'll tell ya, shitty looking art is just the beginning. It's the beginning of a beautiful, beautiful journey. And shoot, I can attest to that. Okay, maybe I haven't improved as much as I could have if I actually drew on a consistent and studied on a regular basis, but if I actually took the time out of my days to sit down, draw a little bit, study my hands, like, shoot, I draw my hands a little bit better because I stare at hands all the time whenever I draw them now. I try to get the shape. And also, whenever I do draw them, I draw like little box shapes to get the joints and the proportions right for fingers and hands. I learned that a little bit back in, I believe it was high school, when I was doodling on the back of the little handouts in one of my classes. I would doodle all the time, and I would draw occasionally characters with metal hands. I was a fan of Full Metal Alchemist at the time, so of course, naturally, I tried to draw art of Edward Elric. Did it look particularly great? Not completely, but it looked decent enough, and the mechanical hand part was very fun. I can do very structural things. The only trouble I have is facial expressions, which I could practice. I could very much practice. I love how I'm talking and sounding very bougie and stuff like that, but it's more of I've lightened up my voice and tone and softened it. I wonder, can I try to do a Patrick Warburton impression? Probably not. It would probably take a little bit of time and effort. I'm pretty sure I'm not even close to it, but I'm trying really, really hard. I think that's a little too much grovel, or maybe... I think I've almost got the cadence right, but I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I just kind of leaned into it because I noticed I was leaning in that direction, so I'm like, hey, why the heck not? Why not try it out? But yeah, I'm a big fan of creative processes and how humans create things, and so when you just click a button to generate something, it kind of defeats the purpose of the human creative process. I want to see people make silly cubes. You can draw a cube. Cubes are easy. You just draw a square, and then you draw 4 lines at each corner pointing at in the same direction, all of them in the same direction, and they're the same length, and then you connect the open ends of those lines with the lines kind of matching, basically parallel to the original cube lines that they correspond with, and then bam, you got a cube, or original square lines. There's probably, I think if I broke it down, I would have to break it down very specifically to make it make more sense. I always think of that one lesson in one of my classes. I can't remember. It wasn't technically it wasn't a pre-engineering class, but it kind of was. But basically, we were given a lesson, and our teacher would follow the exact instructions of what we said on how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And we realized, oh, we've got to break down the steps a lot more clearly. So that way, if anyone was completely unfamiliar with the process, they would be able to follow our instructions to make a peanut butter sandwich. So that's the gist of it. If you're unfamiliar with the process, it does make it difficult. So you would have to have 4 lines connecting together with right angles at all 4 corners where the lines meet. Communication is very fascinating. Communicating directions is even more fascinating. It's amazing what language does. I love it. I do feel still a little bit prickly. I was a little bit of a cranky pants earlier this afternoon, and I couldn't tell if it was because my blood sugar was all over the place. Maybe I spiked it a little too hard, but I had food. I had food at the time of the spike. But there was also a ton of noise. Maybe I was stressed about time constraints? Maybe that was it? That could have been it. I think I had a misperception of time. And it didn't help that whatever I did, I started overheating after a certain period of time, so it really sucked. Yeah, that sounds about right, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I think I overheated and then too much differentiating noises all at once. because I was attempting to watch a couple Star Trek episodes, emphasis on attempting, and so on the occasional interruption, and then there was some music going on somewhere in the house in the background, and it was just loud enough to piss me off. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense for why I felt like a grumpy old cheese grater. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't understand when I feel like a grumpy old cheese grater, unfortunately. Some instances, I'm just like, ew, everything is gross and painful and it's horrible and everything sucks and meh, 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 you know, complain, complain, complain. That's basically that's the basic gist of it. Every once in a while, my mood is just so horrifically foul, and I hate it when I'm not in a great mood, because then it sucks. And then I have to remind myself to keep it in check, so then I don't radiate it onto everybody else. Unfortunately, it still slips through, which I feel really bad for whenever it happens, because I'm just like, ugh. At that point, I just have to step away and give myself a little break. Like, for example, if I was still in that state of, like, grrr, or something like that, I would have probably postponed the stream or something like that. But I was like, by the time I was like, okay, by the time the stream is close to starting, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be fine by then. Oh, I need to trim these nails. They're a little long. Not that I mind them being a little long. They used to stay way too freaking short. I used to trim my nails very close to the nail bed. It was a very bad idea, by the way. There was one random day... Sorry about that. There was one random day where I just suddenly decided, what if I just grow them out? And then ever since then, I've stopped trimming them all the way back close to the nail bed. And I'm very glad of it. Because now the nails actually look decent for more than 5 minutes. Haha, joke's on you. I was ready. Yeah. It does mean that occasionally my nails just piss me off. But that's how it is sometimes. Sometimes parts of you just make you cranky, and you gotta deal with them, unfortunately. And unfortunately, there is a spot that is actually actively annoying me. I need to fix it. Ow. Okay, I've almost fixed it. And... done. There we go. I think I got it. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, I think... yep, I fixed it. Okay, we're good. Progress. Lots of progress, actually. Da 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 ba da da ba da 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 da. You know, there's something that I've always been fascinated by. Is that... actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it's extra interesting. I was going to say group projects are fascinating, but from most people's experience, group projects suck. Unfortunately, I have been everyone in the group project. I have been the person who doesn't show up and disappears. I have been the person who takes charge and has to do everything. I have been the person who kind of contributes. Yeah, I've been pretty much everyone. I have been the one who has been let down and the person who has let everyone down, unfortunately. It didn't help that I was not the only one in that one group chat project where I was a letdown. I just kind of gave up after a while. It was really shitty of me, let's be real. But what's actually more fascinating to me is the community and social nature of people. It's very, very fascinating. You see it often at concerts when people all end up singing together. There's a very strong emotional response. This also happens in religious settings during a sermon or a session, something like that. Often during the musical breaks. People experience a wave, a surgence of emotion and connection with everyone around them. Or like when you're at a dance party and everyone's having fun instead of sitting off to the side or trying to be fancy or whatever, I don't know. Just dancing and having fun and not having to worry about anything. Anyway. I like the connection and community vibes that happen when people get to enjoy themselves. When they sing along together, when they create something, help each other out with a thing. I'm very fond of collaborative effort. Which is also really funny because half the time whenever I do something, I'm like, well, damn, I gotta do it all myself. Sometimes I still wait for other people to do the thing, and other times I'm like, well, it ain't getting done unless I do something. I think that's how it is for a lot of people, though. I am no exception to that rule. I am one of many that follow the said rule. I like being human, it's fun. That makes me sound very inhuman. But, fortunately or unfortunately, spawned as a human, living as a human, probably will reach the end of my life as a human. It would be fun to be immortal and be able to live forever, hopefully without the aging process. I think that would be hilarious. I would be so annoying. I would annoy my friends' families for generations and they'll just be like, yeah, they were friends with my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents and yeah, she just never left our family alone, so now we just have some random immortal that just annoys the crap out of our family for the past few centuries or so. You know, I think that would be a fun thing. I would use my immortality for that. I might also use it if I were to be immortal, I would also use it to be kind of a cryptid. I think it would be funny. Just show up in random locations with no explanation. I could do that same thing that some folks claim immortal people of their own ideas do, where they just show up, help somebody out, and then inexplicably disappear with no trace. That would be so much fun. I'd get to show up, help out, and then that's it. That'd be so fun. The reward would be the mild confusion and just becoming an urban legend. I would love that. That would be so fun. Technically speaking, nothing is stopping me from becoming an urban legend other than my own pure cowardice. I would just have to do something fascinating, which I'm not up to the task of doing right now. That's for another time. Oh dear. Crisis averted. I managed to avoid sneezing into my microphone. Because nobody needs to hear a sneeze on the stream. No. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a little sneeze, but you know, it's loud. Oh my goodness gracious. We are booking it today. Like, we are really booking it. 22,000 flat seems very feasible. We might be able to get to 21,500 or something like that. That'd be pretty cool. We'll see. We'll see. We'll build that bridge when we get to it. I know the original phrase is we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but I think the usage, there's also another usage of saying we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. That one's a pretty funny version of that, of just like, yeah, we'll just wreck that before when we get there. That it's going to come down anyway. We'll get to that point. we will do that when we get there. And then we will build that bridge is more like, okay, well, we'll once we get to that part, then we start building. I think it's a great addition to that. I think it's an excellent addition. Who am I kidding? I am probably not the first to think of it. I will not be the last to think of it. But I know I thought of it at some point. And that is what matters to me. Ooh, I did say at some point, perhaps. I'll have to filter through what's currently installed on my PS4, because that'll be a good starting point to just look at what I currently have installed that I can currently access. And then it'll go from there. Because I know Birth by Sleep is on the table. But at some point I will want to flex outside of my usual patterns. I think it would be good for... I think it would be good for me. A little bit of extra enrichment. Good for everybody else too, to change up the pattern. What is going on there? Why are you doing that? I have fixed it. Nice. Ouch. Sorry. Somewhat not sorry, actually. I am quite fond of the random Minecraft villager noise. It's my favorite thing to do every once in a while. Especially when I'm thinking. Except in that particular instance, all I was thinking about was the Minecraft villager noise. Oh, good heavens. Well, part of it was I was also trying to think, okay, what sort of number shenanigans are involved this time? Because it is even numbers. But based on the pattern that I'm looking at, I don't think that the numbers are ever truly divisible by 8 and 4. Like, not necessarily. But I think I'll have an easier handle on it once we get down to the 4-digit numbers. Like I said, I'm a little rough when it comes to 5-digit numbers. If I put in practice, I probably would be fine. Yeah, 3 and 8 is 24. We're about 3,000 of these fellas, depending on the perspective. Yeah, 3,000 and something. Let's do a math calculation right after these ones. Okay, 3,000 and okay, that's 24. So 3,000. Okay, 30. That would be 3,000 and 30. Seven. Yeah, because 8 times 8 is 64, and that's a 60, so. See what I mean? My brain is turned to mush. I have to look at it, like, directly to be able to get it right. Yeah, because there's the 3. The 30, there's only 3 that can go into that 330, and then leftover is 6. 62, so 62, then 7 times 8 is 56, so that'd be 6 left over. Yeah, so 3,037. Of course, that won't be the case. Not for long, anyway. It always takes me a second, but I think I'm just not in practice yet. I bet if I practiced more, I would start getting really good at the 5-digit numbers, which I might have to do at some point because as we go up, as I've said before, it will take longer and longer to get to between levels. And eventually, like, by the time we hit level 70, there will be 40,000 XP gaps. We are in for a very long haul. This is very cozy. Surprised it took them that long to do some damage. Nice. Very nice indeed. Oh my. Why does this spot have to be really comfy and cozy? It's not fair. I shouldn't be comfy and cozy. I've got things to do. Ah, into the wall I go, I guess. Ouch. Alright, let's actually get a little move on here. Yay! I just remembered, outside of Kingdom Hearts games, I do remember that I have Fallen Order downloaded onto my console, so I could play that at some point. That'd be very fun, I think. I could play Fallen Order. And I also, if I remember right, do I still have God of War installed? I'll have to double check that. Let me see if I can do a quick check of that. I should be able to examine my PS4 from my phone. Let's see. I don't think I can examine it. Darn it. I do know that Fallen Order is downloaded. I have not played very many of my games, goodness sakes. Oh, Destiny, if only you didn't take up so much goddamn space. Seriously, holy shit. I used to enjoy playing Destiny too, but it wasn't as fun when I couldn't play it at all. Perhaps I can't do a proper view of this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's downloaded. I thought it was downloaded to my console. Did I Oh, I must have uninstalled it at some point. Gosh darn it. Alright, let me do a quick reboot of that to get it to work. Yay. Alright, let us continue. Did I already take these guys out? Yes. Ah, my goodness gracious. Whee! Oh, into the wall I go. I just started thinking of the song, so I had to hum it at least once. Oh my goodness. Okay, goodness sakes. Alright, chat. I need to take a short break to wake my poor little legs up for some reason. They are falling asleep, which I do not appreciate. And let me do a quick look through that. Yay! Alright, let me do a quick reload on that. Alright. Like I said, I'm going to take a quick short break. I will give you the be right back screen with my lovely track, and I will in fact be right back. Alright, we're back. Sorry for taking a little longer than expected. I wanted to make sure I had a fully replenished, good lord, water bottle. And now we return to our regularly scheduled battling of the dusks. What a day. I'm starting to wonder if the copious amount of salt I consumed yesterday had a factor in keeping me awake and not necessarily needing a break the other day. In fairness, I did do a bit of exercise. I said previously that I did quite a bit of yard work, and of course yard work does work up a sweat. I cleaned up afterwards and everything, but of course there is a loss of electrolytes. I wonder if I'm due for another season of me drinking a ton of Powerade for no reason, or just drinking Powerade periodically throughout the day. I wonder if that might improve things a little bit. I have been one to be a salt fiend, so that will be an interesting thing to poke at. Ouch. Fun fact, I used to be one of those folks who would pour a little bit of salt on my hand to see how much I wanted, and then, like, rub my hands together to get the salt on the food. Like, to disperse it. As per usual, I, of course, washed my hands every time I was going to eat a meal because of that. As nobody wants to have gross, I was gonna say infected salt in their food, but contaminated salt might be the better wording. Basically, I'm not a fan of my food getting contaminated. But I think that's the case with a lot of people. A lot of people don't want gross things in their food, so... Once again, I am a human. Oh my gosh, I just remembered I bought cookie dough the other day. The stuff that I'm allowed to just eat straight out of the package, and... yeah, I might go for that. I might go for that later. That sounds really nice. But maybe I'll forget about it. I could forget about it within the next hour and then completely space on it and be like, yeah, okay, whatever. I didn't draw on the card like I said I was going to the other day, but to be fair, that was a fleeting moment. I am looking at those cards again. They've been in my possession. They're just blank playing cards. But the blank playing cards have been in my possession since college. Since my early university years. Not like my first or second year, maybe like my third year or so. And that was a little while ago, so. Pre-2020 for context, about 2018, 2019 or so. I had a weird spaced out college career. Including a period of time that was like a whole gap between... a whole gap between my first and second year and onward of college. University, whatever. There was a decent gap. A necessary gap, which I'm very glad I did because it meant that I was able to add to the ability to pay for it. I've said I'm a lucky person before, and I will say it again. I will not hide the fact that I have had some advantages in life. I will not lie about that. It'd be silly to lie about it, to be frank. I have my own personal set of unique struggles that will handicap me in one way or another. Whee! Whee! Gosh, that stinking sound is so silly. Hmm. 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 I'm contemplating the potential editing process for the Ventus video for the command spin thing, since there wasn't much spinning going on. I think I need to shorten the early segments even more than they already are shortened. I need to shorten them by quite a bit, I think. Because if even if 5 whole streams get pared down to about 30 minutes, that is not gonna fly. I think I can. There's one segment that I'm like, where I do make a joke about jump cut to me cursing out the trees because I really hate that escort mission with Snow White as Ventus. It's the worst. I hate that escort mission with a passion. It's so. She runs into everything. She makes me mad. She makes me really mad. I get it. She's scared. She's not thinking straight, but girl, for the love of God, stop running ahead. And then the stupid trees, if you're in the wrong spot, it doesn't let you do the command, and it's just, ugh. It's, gets on my nerves. Gets on my nerves. It's ridiculous. Oh well. But yeah, like I can just skip that first one and then do the second one. So then, because if someone wants to see the whole thing, I put them all into a playlist because I can do that. I couldn't do that with the Terra one. The Terra one I could not do a compilation one because it would also combine. There was like half and half streams with the it shared custody with the level 99 streams, which obviously that means it wouldn't work out trying to put them in the same playlist, because it would be a little bit of a pain in the butt. I do know which ones are which though, because I saved them in a specific way to ensure that I basically saved 2 copies of the streams. I know what days they are, so there's that. I always know what days they are. Ow! Rude. Goodness sakes. Where am I going? Goodness sakes. There we go. Fix it. A lot of fixing going on today. Ouch. Oh shit, I haven't done more to break in my landscape and shoes. I'm kind of nervous about it because this is the first time I've actually gotten a pair of boots that I intend to use on a long term. Where not only do I intend to use them on a very long term, but they are ones that I need to be active in caring for. So then they still look nice, but not fall apart. Hi! Hello! Come on in! Come on in, puppy! Hello! Hi! No, love me, please! Please love me. Please love me, puppy. Thank you! I know she's just here for the pets, but I'm very happy that she's still stuck around for the pets. Oh, she's like, okay, we're in it for the long haul now. We're in it for the long haul. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I know it looks like I'm gonna be doing some stuff, but I'm just really putting a pair of shoes on to break them in, my baby girl. Ah, that's nice. Okay, good. They fit still. That sounds silly, but you never know. Sometimes your feet just randomly grow and shrink. Oh, this is actually pretty comfortable. Maybe the socks that I was wearing just sucked. I was wearing kind of a crappy pair of socks just the other day when I was doing the process of trying to break these babies in. Let me see if I'm still doing it. Yep, still walking on the outside of my right foot. I'm discovering with these shoes, okay, I definitely need some longer socks. I'm wearing ankle socks with these things. And the boots are like the mid-height, so they're not like super tall, but like they're tall enough. They are able to protect my ankles. Which means if I need to I want to protect my ankles from the edges of the boots, I need to wear longer socks. But they feel comfortable. Come on, stop sliding to the right. Silly. I could also take out one of the insoles. That is a possibility. It was suggested that I could do that. Maybe that's what I need to do. But it's so comfy. We'll see. And like I said, I'm breaking these in. These are fresh. These are fresh boots. And it always takes me a little bit of time to break in shoes. It doesn't actually take me long to break in canvas shoes now that I think about it. Maybe. It's been such a long time since I bought a new pair of shoes. I'm not a regular shoe buyer. Because I'm always like, these can last forever. I basically wear my shoes until they're completely busted. And I mean completely busted. Like, they have to be practically annihilated for me to be like, oh, okay, it's time to stop. Now that I think about it, I wore this pair of boots that I hadn't worn in a long time. And I'll be honest, they weren't as comfortable as they used to be. I think it's because I hadn't worn them in such a long time that my walking shaping has changed. That might be the case because I've been walking in the canvas shoes, so my feet have like changed to walk with those. So I think I need to just do a lot more walking. I'm actively standing, by the way. I'm just standing while I'm working on these boots because I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta break these in. I don't think they're gonna be ready and broken in on time for my next mowing day. It might be, I'm gonna give it a week at most. And if they are not feeling comfortable by the next week, I will have to just return them and accept that it's not gonna work. And then find something that I can work with. But I have a feeling that these will work. I have a good feeling about this. I think it'll improve my walking. I need to improve my walking. Who am I kidding? Yeah, I think I just need longer socks. I should have put on longer socks before slipping these babies on. That's okay. It'll be fine, right? No, it won't be fine. It'll irritate me and give me the illusion that I don't like these. I'm always hesitant whenever I do like a snap purchase of anything, because if I do a snap, half the time when I do a snap purchase of something, I end up hating it after a very short time. So maybe, just maybe, I need to put on some long socks. So that's what I'm going to do right now. These ankle socks are not getting much use out of them. But that's fine because I have longer socks specifically and explicitly for the purpose of wearing with longer shoes. So I will do that. Found my Kingdom Hearts ones. Yay. Apologies for not moving the controller. Unfortunately, I do have to... Oh wait, wrong foot. This sock does not belong here. It belongs on the right foot, not the left foot. There we go. Nothing like a pair of nice, comfy, silly socks. Man, I freaking love these. They're really comfy, by the way. My, one of my family actually got them for me. Because he knows I like Kingdom Hearts. And he was like, hey, you want some socks? And I'm like, sure. And he's like, great. I can't remember if I also helped him find a pair of shoes that were related to Kingdom Hearts. Oh my gosh, that is so much better. Yeah. A good pair of socks goes a long, long way. Oh, why are my socks doing that? There we go. Okay, and they are doing as they need to. Good, good, good. Maybe I will take out that extra insole. Wonder if I got the wrong size. I'll be mad if I got the wrong size. That's a pain in the butt. Hmm. Decisions. Yeah, it seems like it's going well. Come on, walk evenly, dear. Doing a lot of sitting, which is not really conducive to breaking in one's shoes. Maybe. The struggle of acquiring proper footwear. Oh, good lord. They are much more comfortable on my feet than a pair of tall loafers that I currently have. They are much more comfortable. I need to wear the loafers. I need to just wear my shoes a lot more. I mostly wear canvas shoes, which are great, but I need to have a little bit of variety. Can't always be in sport mode. Sometimes you gotta be in professional mode. Yeah, there's still good. There's room in the toe. There's wide foot room. Yeah, everything seems to be fine. I think I just need to break these babies in. It's always a struggle. I'm getting 4s consistently across the board. I need to stop doing that. Normally I'm not one to concern myself too much when I get a 4 or 2, but considering that I've been getting 4s very consistently for the past 10 to 20 minutes, that needs to be corrected immediately. I need to step it up. See if my rough prediction of where I'm going to be at by the end of the stream is right. If I'm not feeling like... If I'm not too tired, I could push it another 30 minutes like I did yesterday. I could push it to 2 hours 30 minutes. It's possible. It can be done. Because then in essence, overall, I would have... In essence, if I do that, that means I overall have pushed an extra hour total than my usual. Because usually I just do about 2 hours and then I'm like, okay, that's enough. For sanity's sake, obviously. But if I push it to 2.5, that means I technically, in a way, get an extra hour for a total of 5 hours of this. I'm wondering now, would I have been able to do this while still... No, I would not. Maybe? Who knows? I was wondering if maybe during my old job, if I would have been able to pull off doing that and this at the same time. Part of me says, yeah, I think I could do it, and the other part of me says, honey, no, you would have been exhausted. And I'm pretty sure I would have been exhausted. I was exhausted at the end of the day every day. I would just lay on my bed as soon as I got home. I would feed the dogs, lay on my bed, and then do nothing for the remainder of the evening. That's what I would do. I wouldn't do anything. I suppose I would write time to time, somehow. But no, I was far too drained. It was a long time coming, by the way. It wasn't just one of those out of nowhere, I'm done with this things. It was a very long progression. Very, very long. I saw an image the other day that someone made up of, like, being... Wait, let me find it. It's saved onto my phone, so I'm going to break my Twitch app again. For the umpteenth time. Where is it? That's not that one. It's not that one either. Let me take these three out before I accidentally die to silly circumstances. Where is it? It's not there. It's not there. Where is it? Nope. Ah, there it is. Being 25 to 30, doing a master's, autism diagnosis, Japan trip, and then there's two other branches. One of them looks like a flying thing that is drooping over, and then there's a tiny other branch that somebody definitely added in that says substance abuse. I don't think I'm going to take that route. But I did consider doing the master's degree at least 3 or 4 times in the past year alone. One of the ideas was like, what if I got a geology degree? And the other was, what if I got a master's in library science? What about that? I could do that. Another was related to atmospheric science and eventually with the idea of becoming a meteorologist. I did want to do that growing up. I was always fascinated with the weather. And volcanoes. Very much fascinated with volcanoes, which would fall in line with the geology thing. I like rocks. They're pretty. Oh my gosh, I just realized something very interesting. 0 lamps have been turned on today. One of the lamps, it makes sense, but the other, uh-oh. I think I left it off for too long today. Maybe that's why I'm such a grumpy pants. I haven't had my lovely little therapy lamp, as they call it. It's in the shape of a moon. I love the therapy lamp. It's beautiful. I keep it on the warm light setting because I hate the cool light setting. I hate blue light. It pisses me off so much. It's very frustrating. It's already done enough damage to my eyes, and then also it just pierces your eyeballs in the middle of the night, which is really annoying because a lot of technology, like, for example, the USB hub I use to be able to do all the things that I do with my setup, that has blue lights. And I cannot turn it off unless I want to do a whole process of unplugging everything and disconnecting everything. And then unplugging it properly, because otherwise it'll just not acknowledge it and I have to do a full reinstall of the whole thing. It's a freaking nightmare. So I have to keep it plugged in, which means I have to cover it at night to sleep. I sleep kind of near my setup sometimes. And then there's also another blue light that I cannot unplug that I also cover but also give it enough space to breathe so then it doesn't overheat. I live in hell with blue lights. I hate them. They are so annoying. They are the most eye gouging things in the world. I don't mind them when I'm not trying to sleep, but they suck otherwise. Nice. Oh, no shrimp mode today for me. Perhaps I'm a little stir crazy after yesterday's adventure of a day. I have been wondering that. I did some typo the other day. It was very fun. It was a little bit energy consuming, and it only lasted 8 minutes, but boy oh boy did it wear me down. It was also kind of exhilarating at the same time. Made me realize how much coordination I've lost over the years. Why, you missed the headbutt, friend. Oh my goodness gracious. It's interesting, it's only this shoe that I do this with. Why is that? Oh, I think I found the solution. Yay! I fixed it. I wonder why my foot does that, though. Maybe I did it wrong. We'll have to see. Oh, goodness gracious me. Ouch. Okay, thanks. Thanks, brain. That's real nice. Oh, okay. That's cool. Oh, okay. See, there we go. That's a normal amount of damage from that fella. Nice. Cozy. Huh. Okay, 2 basketballs. 3 basketballs. 4 fours. Why am I doing that? What is going on here? Why is it like this? Okay. That's enough gear shifting for me. I need to take more damage so that I can get the stuff done. Still 4s. Okay, let's just take our hands off the controller and allow the damage to come through naturally. There we go. Perfect. Nice. Wee. 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 Hmm. Thinking about boats again. Like sailboats. I like sailing. I want to sail again. I don't think I'd want to sail in the open sea though. That's terrifying. The waves can get very, very big. And if you're on a 40-footer, that means they feel very, very big. Plus, there's also the matter of seasick patches. I have to wear seasick patches, otherwise I am not a friendly person. Well, it's less I'm not a friendly person and more of I feel absolutely horrendously nauseous and it is horrible and it sucks. There was one time I had forgotten to replace my seasick patch mid-trip, and boy oh boy, was it the worst feeling in the world. And then there was another time where I only had to wear one patch the entire trip because the patches that we had left over were about a year old and definitely way more potent and unnecessary for the remainder of the trip. It was kind of funny, but also like, that's a little concerning. If it's that strong to last more than 3 days, yeah, that's a little spicy. I do say so myself, and I say so. Nyum. Ouch. Pew. Oh, I need to do more damage. Nice. That means I can just go down, not go down swinging, but interesting. All three of them are taking different routes. But it doesn't matter because in the end they all will get taken out by me. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Ooh, guess who needs to take more damage? It's me. I'm thinking, you know how maybe not. I was gonna say, y'all know how I did that thing the other day where I put a CD into my CD player and made it so I could hear it and it was just only me that could hear it and no one watching the stream could hear it? I think I want to do that again. I kind of want to do that again. I might do it. I think it'll be worth it. Nice. Nice damage, buddy. Where'd you get that moveset, the slapping store? Alright, let's do that. I want to do that right now. Alright, which disc is in here? Dare I ask? Let's activate the machine. Pop open the lid. Okay, it's this one. Oh, I was gonna stick another CD in there, and I completely forgot I was going to do that. I was gonna stick a K-pop album in there instead, but I think Mom was in the mood for some Heathers. I should not call myself that. It's a very bad habit to get into, actually. It's not the fancy... It's not the... I don't think it's the Broadway recording. It's the world premiere cast recording that I have. Because it's the version I'm most familiar with. Hopefully it's not too loud. I'll have to turn it down slightly. Oh wow, we just jumped right into it. Cool. I especially don't want it blasting on stream because it's based in the 80s, and of course the 80s did not have very... Okay, yeah, it's not jumping in. I'm just trying to... I'm keeping an ear out and keeping an eye on the... whatchamacallit? The audio slider. I'm keeping an eye on the audio slider to make sure that it's not coming through. I might sing occasional bits that are still appropriate, obviously. We can change again. We can be beautiful. Just not today. Dark comedies. Emphasis on dark. It's actually a very interesting adaptation of the film. I took the time a few years back to finally watch the film the musical is based on. And I'm like, okay, there's the basis for some of the lines here. Like, I'm like, oh hey, that's where they got this line from. That's interesting. Like, it's just the little subtle references, the general storyline and stuff. They do change a few things from the original film. I think it's just for better flow and to reduce the amount of potential characters to cast. And of course there's always the possibility of double casting and everything. Especially if your characters aren't in the same scene, so. You can get away with that in theater, it's funny. Did that go through? Oh, I'm getting 4s up the wazoo. Come on. I can see it subtly like trying to slide in. It's very funny to see the music try to peek its way in. I'm trying to make sure that it's not me breathing or something that's coming through. Even if it does slip through the music in the background, it's not enough that it's going to be a problem. I don't think, anyway. Okay, so you can hear me turning my head. Okay, that's you hearing me push buttons. Nice. Okay, come on. There we go. Progress. I would like to at least hit 22,000. I would love to do that, actually. Oh, random refresh on the OBS side. I'm not gonna try to do a 3-part harmony all at once. It's a chaotic mess. Whee! I like skipping the tiles every once in a while just to see how many I can jump over. It's a little fascinating. It's the little fascinating pastimes you gotta do to be able to keep yourself sane. Honestly, I think some of the things that I do, I don't know how, but I have acquired a range of skills for making long, repetitive, samey tasks that don't seem to have progress. I've learned a lot of techniques for being able to pull off doing such a grind. There was a period of time where I was working on a project that was very similar to that, where it seemed like it was just a never-ending mess. It reminds me of that, except I continue to make progress and things don't go backwards after a short period of time. Yeah, that's pretty good, actually. It's very good, actually. Big stretch. Okay, let's do a little bit of a shoulder adjustment and whack the mic, of course. It's a standard practice. Nice. That was smooth. You know what would be kind of funny is to do a celebratory fight the Twilight Thorn at level 50, just like a little celebratory fight. But at the same time, I feel like that would give me a preview of how it's going to be at level 99, and so I don't want to spoil that for myself, because I already tested it at level 35. We're going to be almost over halfway there in terms of levels. In terms of the levels of cells. We are nowhere near halfway in terms of XP. We won't be halfway until about 1.4 million. Let me find my calc, actually. No, my calculator's out of reach. Never mind. Wait, I can use a different calculator. Let me take a look at that, actually. Because I want to. So it'll be halfway through when we have 1,437,789,000. 437,789. 1,437,789. I don't know why that's really hard for me to say. Holy shit. There we go. Nice. Alright, excellent. Where are we at anyway in terms of progress? We're about to find out in about a couple of damages, and really, you two are gonna hop around like that. Quit messing around and hit me, so then I can get the damage and figure out where I'm at in terms of XP. Thank you. Oh, 30 away from being at 22,000 flat. Excellent. My rough estimation was correct. If I can just stay focused on the 8s. Okay, calm down. We're fine. Regardless of the outcome, we will hit below 22,000 XP remaining. And so I will push towards that. And it will be fine and dandy. There we go. Nailed it. Okay, good. We're below 22,000. My rough estimate for today's amount of XP was correct. I like to do, it's a little game that I give myself based off of the average that I calculated ages ago. That I get on average about 4,000 XP per stream, and that's on like the most chaotic days, which this one seems to be a little bit more chaotic than usual with the number of 4s I've gotten. I wonder if I've gotten distracted by something, which is very strange, because how can I get distracted? Oh, never mind, never mind. If I remember correctly, it's kind of like that weird trance haze that you can get if you drive across Interstate 80, particularly in Nebraska. If anyone past, present, or future is familiar with I-80 in Nebraska, and if you've driven across the entire state, it's not too curvy in terms of an interstate. It is still very pretty, but you are liable to get entranced by the highway. You are very much liable to get entranced. When you get to the Wyoming section of I-80, it's a little bit more adventurous because you're passing through mountains, so you're doing a lot of curves and stuff. And you also have better refueled in a decent spot, because there's like a certain section where it's just like, you better have found a gas station. Gotta pay attention to your fuel. It's not as bad as like further down south, like on the maybe not the 70, but definitely the 60. Maybe the 60. Anything that passes through Arizona and New Mexico, I've heard, is not... If you see a gas station, you better make sure that your tank is full at that station, basically. Because in some segments there is not another gas station for quite some time, so you gotta plan accordingly when you cross country. Yeah, I'm more of a fan of driving across on the 80 interstate, to be frank. I have traveled across the country on I-90. It was alright. Part of it was, I think my distaste for the, for I-90 across the US. I've done it like twice and I kind of hated it. I think it was because both times that I've driven across on that particular interstate, it just sucked because it was drive as much as humanly possible and get to the destination to make it as short of a trip as possible. Like, that was the intention. That was the thing. So it wasn't very fun. In my subsequent travels, when I was traveling across the 80, I had, we had learned our mistakes from traveling, and I also had a different traveling companion for the return trips, for between back and forths, which were a little bit more sane about travel, thank goodness. I have limits of my day of driving, and unfortunately it is 6 hours. I can do 6 hours completely on my own. I have done 6 hours. There are multiple instances where I have driven from, for example, Ohio to Virginia. I have done a 6-hour stint from that. Obviously I took breaks. I can't remember if I did every 2 hours or 3. I think I did every 2 hours. I did a little short break, made sure I was able to move and walk around. I wasn't traveling alone, thank goodness. I had my precious pooch with me, and it was great. I think whenever I do travel alone, I tend to not announce it just because of safety reasons, which is actually something that you should do. If you ever do solo travel and you want to post about it, you wait until you are back at home to post about the trip, and you never say your source origin, where you're from. You can talk about a general area, but I wouldn't recommend specifics. It's part of internet safety, which has eroded very rapidly ever since corporations realized they could sell your data to advertisers to make money off of you. The struggle is real. A little bit more damage, please. Nice. Perfect. Whee! Ow. Nice. Alright, a little bit more damage. That'd be real nice. Whee! Whee! How is the total XP actually? I'm kind of curious. Very curious indeed. I think we're gonna be in the 300,000s for a little bit longer. It did take us a while to break out of the, like, get past a certain point. That's just how it goes, though. Numbers. Okay, there we go. Oh dear. I went shrimp mode and didn't even realize it. For anyone unfamiliar with shrimp mode, it's when your posture makes you hunch forward like a shrimp. I'm pretty sure that's obvious, but you never know. You never know if someone is unfamiliar with the term of shrimp mode. Oh my good lord. How the heck did my shoulders get so tense? What did I do? And I am in the walls again. I am in the walls. Whoops. Alrighty, there we go. Oops, that's 4s. Let's get a couple more 8s out of these fellas. Come on. Come on, bring it on. And there we go. Perfect. One more swing. I want to make that a flat 21,000. Well, okay, as flat as a... It's not going to be 21,500, unfortunately. I can try all I want, but it's not going to work. So... I'm going to take out one more. Just one more in particular. But I need to get an 8, otherwise it's going to be pointless. Okay, there we go. Now I feel better. It sounds so silly, but it's important to me. Alrighty. Nice. I was noticing in the past few streams... Wow, look at the number difference. Anyway, I was noticing in the past few streams that I wasn't actually taking up a full 2 hours of actual in-game time, so I decided to rectify the issue. Hopefully I will continue to rectify said issue. But anyway, it has been a very, very successful day. That is going to do it for the stream. I hope you all enjoyed, whether you are past, present, or future. If you want to continue watching this journey and eventual other journeys, you can hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. You can hit the follow button on the Twitch channel. Both ways you can get notifications for when I go live. I also have social media, which is Twitter, Blue Sky, and Tumblr. They are all with the same username, Yellowfang42. You can follow those not only for when I talk about going live. Okay, that's not really the case with Tumblr. But You can follow for other reasons. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a pleasant and good morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Have a good one. Here's your end stream screen card. Bye!